So certainly you may want to ask yourself why you would want to collect information that ISQ provides. And it's a reasonable question to ask, but if you proceed with the premise that you can't manage it until you measure it, then I would suggest that you have two things that you need to measure at a school. First of all, you need to measure what's important. And we've certainly already defined what's important in a school. I mean, No Child Left Behind has defined it as academic achievement. And we do a lot of that kind of testing. But the one thing that we typically don't assess are all the variables that cause quality outcomes, quality learning. And ISQ provides information about all kinds of domains that have a direct influence on learning at a school. I hear from principals all the time that ISQ might be too expensive for them. They may not have the money to go ahead and pursue ISQ. But I hear the same thing from schools that actually go ahead and do ISQ. And they seem to find the money for it. And given the fact that the information that you gain from ISQ is going to give you an advantage at reducing teacher absenteeism or student absenteeism or increasing test scores or even teacher retention, then you may end up paying a dime and getting $1 back by doing ISQ. There are surveys out there that take a tremendous amount of effort to complete. And I am a believer that there's only so much survey energy in a school to begin the year. But we designed ISQ to be very short, as few as 10 minutes across campus to complete all of the surveys, a couple days to get the parent stuff back. It's really just not as much effort as you might think. One of the real advantages of conducting a survey like ISQ is its standardization. A lot of schools will make up surveys or districts will make up surveys, but they don't have the ability to compare themselves to like schools, nor do they have any normative information across the country or across the state even. And so ISQ provides you with all that information that you wouldn't get otherwise. And the other reason that conducting your own survey doesn't typically help you a whole lot is I see lots of schools conduct surveys and I have to ask them, what did it get you? Did you respond to the data? Was it useful? Did you understand it? We've designed ISQ so, number one, it's easy to understand, and number two, there's collateral materials that will help you decide very quickly about what's next to be done at the school. A lot of schools go in with that attitude that they do know what's wrong, and for the most part I do think they know areas that are needing some attention, but our current research suggests that we measure things in a very unscientific way when we as observers make decisions about what needs to be improved. By using the aggregate of all of your stakeholders in this process, you get a much more accurate picture of what needs to be done at the school. I hear from a lot of principals that are in that circumstance, and their schools are doing very well. But even they are going to suffer from No Child Left Behind at some point. And so we're all in the position where we need to continually improve. When we call up and we talk to various school officials and they decide for whatever reason not to conduct ISQ, I always have to wonder if their reasons are the fact that they don't have money or that they're doing just fine. I get the feeling that there are other things underlying those decisions. And I'd like to bring those up just so that anybody watching this video will understand that we're aware of all of these underlying reasons. It's certainly true that when you measure something and it comes up not looking as wonderful as you might like it to, it may damage some feelings and that, but the fact of the matter is, if you don't measure it, it's not going to get better just by the fact that you didn't measure it. If it's bad, it's still bad and it still needs your attention. By measuring it, at least you get a chance to have all the people who think it's in poor condition own up to their own opinions and bring them into the process of school improvement. I'm not sure that the obligations that are brought up by conducting ISQ are any different than the obligations that you have as a principal in the first place. It doesn't change it at all. All we have is more and more accurate information about what's going on well at the school and what needs to be attended to. And so it may seem like it provides more obligations, but so does waking up in the morning. Well, I have to agree with that. ISQ won't help because assessment is not an intervention. I can provide you with the best information in the world, and if you don't change what's going on in the school, nothing's going to happen. And unfortunately, a lot of schools fall into that trap. They conduct ISQ, they get the information, and not only might they not act, but they don't act in a way that has an impact on the school. It's a good question to say, we're going to spend this money, and what truly are we getting for this cost. And I can tell you a number of things from a scientific point of view, but the reality of it is you're doing several things that are critically important. One is you're bringing all of these stakeholders into the process. Parents and faculty and staff members all get a chance to weigh in on school improvement, and that's a huge part of giving them an investment in the school and making them want to help it get better. I've had superintendents tell me I could run for mayor after doing ISQ simply because it was the first time parents had been truly asked what was going on in the school. So that alone is of great value. But again, if you're just looking for a way to decide about school improvements, ISQ has got to be the best first step you can take in that process.